Welcome live to the Sengkang Hockey Complex in Singapore for the final game of this 2018 International Hockey Series Open. It's the first and second place playoff match between Thailand and Singapore. We've just seen Malaysia crowned champions in the women's section by beating Thailand. Can the Thai men get an element of compensation for that by beating the most impressive team in the competition across the round-robin stage? Unquestionably Singapore, like the Malaysian ladies, undefeated across their 5 games, having beaten Indonesia 7-0, Myanmar 2-0, Thailand 4-1 in the round-robin, 6-2 against Hong Kong, China, and then Chinese Taipei 4-0. Norman Teo expects to see plenty of driving runs from he. Third house, as always, will be that calming influence, running things at the back. And in terms of their leading goal scorers, well, there have been goals across the whole team, but in particular, Jahari with 6 and Silas with 5 have led the way. As for Thailand, well, they've got a couple of men that Singapore are very wary of, including Seksit Samachai, a scorer against Singapore in the SEA Games last year when Singapore beat Thailand in the bronze medal match, and he was on the score sheet again, getting that 1 goal for Thailand when they went down 4-1 to Singapore in the round robin on match day 3. So the 2 flags of the countries are walked on to the pitch. Both sets of players are ready for action. It's going to be a very fast-paced game, no doubt about that. It certainly was in the round-robin phase. It's just a question of whether Singapore can hold their very impressive form for another 60 minutes of hockey and crown themselves champions on here as they start the road to trying to qualify for Tokyo in 2020. Let's get down pitch side for the national anthems. Firstly, the national anthem of Singapore. Of Singapore and Thailand, and we're almost set for action. Both sets of players exchanging the final pleasantries and greeting themselves to the umpires, who are Ravdeep Sethi of Hong Kong, China, and Puvalagan Paskaran of Malaysia. They'll be the men charged with keeping these 2 fiery teams under control in what's sure to be a keenly contested contest. No question, Thailand with the more experience. Singapore, it's a revamped squad since that bronze medal winning effort in the SEA Games. No fewer than 6 teenagers in the Singapore squad compared to just 1 of Thailand's being a teenager. The nice cap player for Singapore is Silas Norshar with 52 caps, but even though Ferdhouse, the skipper, has just 35, he really has maturity beyond his years when it comes to his performance on the hockey pitch. So big things expected from a Singapore team with exciting players all through it. Ferdhouse, Silas, Johari, Norman Teo. Can Thailand possibly find some answers to steal the prize of first place from under their noses? We've just seen Malaysia confirm the form book of the round robin in their comprehensive 6-0 win against Thailand in the women's section. Can Thailand upset the apple cart here in the men's? And a reminder, immediately following the conclusion of this final game, we will be bringing you the prize ceremony live on the stream, so do stay with us for that. Results from earlier on today in the 5/6 playoff in the ladies section. Hong Kong beat Indonesia by 4-0, and concurrently in action at the moment in the men's section is the 5/6 playoff there between Hong Kong, China and Indonesia. Hong Kong, China already 2-0 up in that one. But we'll focus on the game here on pitch one. Great to see plenty of Thais and Singaporeans turning out in numbers. It's going to be a good atmosphere here. Singapore in the red, playing from right to left in this first half. Thailand in the white shirts, black bottoms, playing from left to right. It will be Silas, who's already brought 5 goals to the party this week to get us underway. Norman Teo nearest to us, just waiting to get things underway. Interesting, he's in advanced position from the pushback start because he really is an exciting player. Great running and dribbling skills. We're just waiting for the umpires to get the official word from the technical officer, who is Michio Imajo of Japan. Get the official green light to go, and we will start just a couple of minutes before 6 p.m. local time here, which was the advertised off. A couple of the games have started a fraction early over the course of the week, but understandably, with this being the big final, they want everything to be absolutely spot on. Going back to that game that Singapore won 4-1 against Thailand in the round robin section. Goals from Dinesh Raj, 2 from Johari and 1 from Norman Teo. Wrapped up a very clinical performance there. Goals in each of the 4 quarters. Sumachai responding to get one back for Thailand in the third. So we're underway here. Singapore have been mightily impressive, much like the Malaysian women. The most disciplined and organised team has won through so far. Can they keep that going here? Marshalled by the excellent Ferdhouse, who gets it back now. Ferdhouse looking for options. Thailand set defence early, forced Singapore to go for the high ball, and they concede the free hit, so a chance for Thailand to break quickly. Picked up by Kampatong. Out wide, chasing that down is Boonart. Boonart, the leading goal scorer for Thailand with 7. From both here. It's well won by Norman Teo, and this is what we used to see in those long, powerful, marauding runs from Norman Teo down the flanks. He wins the side in here. Taken by Mohamed Asali. Asali gets it to Adil Ibrahim. Back to Ferdhouse, who goes long. Ferdhouse with a strong pass that's intercepted by the Thai stick, Ratawit Kamkong. Ferdhouse once more. Good defence from Thailand. That was a strong stick to hold that up. Good work from Thanakwit Boonart. But Thailand get it back to Singapore now. Teo finds Ahmed Jahari, been scoring goals for fun this week. Jahari finds Silas. Out wide it now goes to Silas, into the D, a tomahawk shot from Silas. Doesn't miss by much. A half opening for Singapore. Silas did brilliantly while losing his balance to get that shot away, and it just sailed over the bar. Look at this, great link-up play between Kahar and Silas. The Thai stick went flying, it didn't put him off. That stick from Seksit Samachai. Silas not too far away from opening the scoring here, just under 3 gone. Still scoreless between Singapore and Thailand. The 1 and 2 ranked teams in the round robin facing off to crown the winner of the competition here this afternoon. Birdhouse across the field, picks up Ibrahim. Ibrahim and Birdhouse just so comfortable passing to each other from range. Scoop pass from Birdhouse is off the money. There was no way that Mohamed Kahar was going to get to that. Thailand take it quickly, and they'll get the side in here. Inside Singapore territory. Some space to work with for Boon Mi. Down, which gives Singapore a chance to clear it from the side in with it. Ibrahim. Thailand very competitive early, and there's too much on that. Skips off the turf beyond the run of Dinesh Raj. Dinesh Raj, another man with 4 goals in this competition so far. What composure from Birdhouse, back to Ibrahim. Timeout being called here. There's an issue with an injured player, is it? It is. Some discomfort as well, and this will be a huge blow to Singapore. Norman Teo, I'm not sure what happened there. Singapore will be hoping that Norman Teo is okay to continue. He doesn't look too good at the moment. Medical staff not called on just yet. I think he must have taken one here to the shin, maybe the ankle. Looks like he's going to be okay to continue, which is a huge sigh of relief for Singapore. Takes his stick, and I think he will trot off to be interchanged. Stay on. Just jogging the injury off. And very sporting of Thailand through Borarak Harapan gives Singapore back possession. Played 5 minutes. Only chance has fallen to Silas. A tomahawk shot that went just over the bar. Cagey opening here. Birdhouse goes long. Picked up by Kamkong for Thailand. Kamkong on a driving run. Just look at that from Birdhouse. He reads the game so well, and he plays in Silas, who sends down the left-hand side. Mohamed Asali. Well controlled by Krishnan. They will get the 23 Singapore, 23-metre restart. Support for Singapore and Thailand, in fairness. The Thais have been turning up in their numbers to support their men and women who've had such a good week. Thailand finishing second in the round robin group, both the men's and women's. Of course, no Malaysian team in the men's section, the current SEA Games champions and regional powerhouses. That's played down the left by Choi Chum Eung. Oh, nice mazy run down the flank, pulls it back. They want a penalty corner, and they will get a penalty corner. And that was all down to the hard work of Ahmed Jahari. Penalty corner number 1 with 6 minutes 15 seconds gone. Can Singapore make them pay for the concession of that first penalty corner? Going to be Silas to put this in, I think it might be. Silas with the push. Teeing it up for Ferdhouse. Blocked. Ferdhouse again. Beats the keeper. That's gone into the shins. It's going to be a stroke. Thailand Dean with a goalkeeper stranded to have prevented a clear goal-scoring opportunity with use of the legs. And after great work from Ferdhouse, it will be a stroke. Look at Ferdhouse here. Comes straight back at him off the Thai stick. Turns the goalkeeper inside out. And they claimed the stroke, and they got it after the interjection of Saksit Samachai. So Ferdhouse to give Singapore the lead here. Thailand still claiming it came off the foot. The skipper is protesting officially, Sadakorn Vimatanen. And this, I'm sure, won't faze Ferdhouse. They are, I think, reviewing it. They're getting the second opinion. We've seen some interesting scenes earlier in the week when Myanmar threatened to walk off the field at one point after Singapore scored a controversial goal from a penalty corner, but the protestations of Vimatanen are going to count for little here. It's going to be Ferdhouse up against Jong Jum after the umpires have checked. Nice friendly tap of the stick from both. Ferdhouse, the epitome of cool in Singapore colours. The skipper to give Singapore the lead in the first place game. Goes down left to low and scores. Ferdhouse picks up his 5th goal of the campaign, and Singapore lead after 6.5 minutes. Cool as you like. The stroke going down low. And I think he caught Jong Jum in 2 minds there. Look what it means to him. Singapore captain leading from the front. The 25-year-old. Singapore are on their way. What will Thailand respond with? Well, Thailand are responding with this. That this is not the first time we've seen this. The Thai coach is absolutely livid, and I don't envy poor old Michio Imajo. She's having to deal with this all the time. Disgraceful behaviour by the coach in what is a sporting contest. Even if you think the decision is wrong, you've got to show some kind of decorum, and the Thai players have walked off here, and this is not the first time we've seen this week. Myanmar walked off in protest and came back on within 20 seconds, but the Thai coach is absolutely livid, and the poor old technical officer, Michio Imajo, is having to deal with a meltdown inside the first quarter here. Well, it's just not what you want to see. You can complain about a decision. The umpire's ruling, I'm assuming, was that it was the leg of Samachai which prevented that ball going into the back of their goal with the goalkeeper stranded. That's why it was a penalty stroke and not a penalty corner. It's the only interpretation of the umpires I can understand, and you can understand the Thai coach being frustrated. At least he's smiling now. I think that's actually the team manager, maybe, for Thailand. Might be the coach, Pichai. Kamichan is the team manager. I think it's more likely to be he. And the Thailand players, I mean, what is going on here? This does the image of hockey no favours, and it does the image of Thailand no favours either. And now finally telling them to go back on. And it's actually that Thai coach, the Korean Thai coach, Kim Yong-soo, that I think has calmed the team manager down. Well, that's added a bit of extra spice. The goal, of course, will still stand. And Thailand have deemed to continue again, and still they are giving the poor Japanese technical officer, Michio Imajo, any amount of grief on the sidelines. Not nice. You can only issue in the umpire's interpretation was that Samachai played at that with his legs as opposed to it just hitting his legs to cause the stroke. And for Samachai's defence, I'm not sure he had much chance to get out of the way of Ferdhouse's second shot at that penalty corner, but nevertheless, not good. Meanwhile, they come again. Look at this man go. Ahmed Jahari, sticks going flying. Ahmed Jahari finds support. They try and get it now through Silas, back to Joachim Ung. Joachim Ung gets it to Ferdhouse, who sweeps it across the pitch majestically to bring in Balakrishnan. Balakrishnan's efforts too long, too strong. It'll be a 60-metre restart for Team Thailand. Oh, well stolen. Good hustle from Dinesh Raj, and Dinesh Raj is in here, into the D, getting tangled up. Half a shout for a penalty corner, but nothing doing. Penalised there, the Singaporean Ahmed Jahari. House. He hits Singapore. Ibrahim goes long and wide. Too much on that again. So the game just waiting to calm down a little after that controversial start, with Singapore taking the lead through the penalty stroke of Ferdhouse Zulkepli. If you are just joining us, the Thais seemingly walked off the field in protest for a minute or two after that decision. Now down the left-hand side is Joachim Ung. Won by Ahmed Jahari, gets it back to Mohamed Asali. Thailand have picked it off though. Thailand, what a run this is down the left-hand side from Tanakrit Boonart there. 6-goal man, 7 goals I should say. It's brought down there though, the free hit against Ibrahim. He's even shown a card there. I think that might be the first card of the game as well. So I don't know if the umpires are psychologically trying to make up for things, but I think that might have been shown a card there, Ibrahim. That goes straight in the goal without touching a stick. Let's have a look at this. Well, actually, in replay, Ibrahim can have no complaints there. The ball had already gone when he stuck his stick in, and that was card-worthy, and it's a green for Ibrahim. He'll be out for a couple of minutes, and Singapore will be short-handed. Can Thailand take advantage with 5 to play in this first quarter? Jahari, all the tricks of the trade he had there. Going central, Singapore. It's been stolen though, but one back by Jahari, who he looks like a man on a mission today, Ahmed Jahari. Ferdhouse finds the option left in Joachim Ung. Ferdhouse, nice skills. Gathered in by Mohamed Asali. Aerial route from Asali eventually goes awry, so Thailand can now come with Juntakan. Well hustled though by Silas. Giving it up though, and Thailand have got numbers forward here. Good driving run through the middle from Junjikan. They'll get a free hit, so Singapore for the first time really in this game defending to do on the edge of their D. Plenty of numbers back. That's come off a Singapore stick back into the D. It's found Ferdhouse, who brilliantly finds Pasia. Thailand doing a good job of pinning Singapore back, and that was intelligent play from Johari to buy that free hit. 3:20 to play in this first quarter. Ferdhouse goes very long indeed. It's collected brilliantly by Silas. Silas down the left, the one-handed pass. Dinesh Raj is unable to gather in. It's off the feet of Dinesh Raj. Play on. Acrobatic control from Thailand to keep their passing movement going. The longest Thailand have enjoyed possession, I think, in the game so far. Down the right they go with Kam Kong, but he gives up the free hit that Johari will no doubt want to take quickly. Calming it down, Singapore now. I don't think they want to get embroiled in a battle of emotions and wits. They know if they keep their shape and discipline, they should have too much for Thailand. Oh, that was a sliding save from Masila to break down the latest Singapore attacking foray. Down the left, Jo Chi-ung unable to reach Silas, and Thailand will go very long here with a really intelligent ball through. Nice turn as well, they've got options. Oh, in acres of space was Kampathong, but Ibrahim back on from his green card, broke it down brilliantly. Over a minute to play then in this first quarter. Has to be said, there's not been much done by Wee Wai and the Singapore goal. It's been played out for the most part in the middle of the field this game so far, with the exception of that flurry from Singapore that brought about the penalty corner that Ferdhouse turned into a penalty stroke when he found the legs of Sumachai with the goalkeeper stranded. So one other from Singapore to mention, that tomahawk from Silas that was over the bar, in a spectacular effort it was too, keeping his feet well initially, the cedar, before he tumbled over. Managed to keep possession though. And Thailand have come here to battle, they're not going to roll over here. And at 1-0 this game's still very much in the balance. Singapore could do with a buffer of a second sooner rather than later to try and break down that Thai spirit and resolve that they are famous for. Oh, lovely ball in, Johari. Lovely skills, Ahmed Johari. Where's his option? Johari through the middle, picks up the man brilliantly. There's coming, Silas in space. It bumps to Silas inside the D. Gets it back, Silas. Really important tackle from Bimatanen. And Thailand come away with a hit in the final seconds, tick down of this first quarter. A quarter that'll be remembered for the controversial awarding of a penalty stroke to Singapore. I think the umpire got the interpretation right with the goalkeeper stranded. The Thai bench was furious. It looked like the team manager came on. Pichai Kamanchan to complain, but the goal stood after Ferdhouse converted the penalty stroke, and Singapore lead at the end of the first quarter by a goal to 0. Stay with us. Welcome back live to Sengkang's hockey complex in Singapore, built for the Youth Olympic Games in 2010, and in 2018 it hosts the Singapore International Hockey Series Open. Earlier on today we saw Malaysia take away the women's crown, beating Thailand 6-0 in the final. The Thai men now have to come from behind at the end of the first quarter against Singapore, who lead by that third house penalty stroke to nil. But one thing we do know is this is going to be well contested right to the last. Singapore have played the prettier hockey, but Thailand are up for a fight here, and are not going to go away or go down easily at all. Singapore in the red, playing from right to left. Thailand in the white tops and black shorts, playing from left to right. And here's the man that's at the focal point of it all for Singapore, third house, just 25 years of age, only 35 caps, but his progression through the ranks in this revamped Singapore men's squad has been a joy to behold, in the likes of him, Teo. Norman Teo, you see there, the number 13, picked up a bit of a knock. I don't know whether that's quietened him down. He's certainly not had the liveliest of games so far. Took that knock early. It's blocked by Mark Chong. Dropping very deep indeed is Ahmed Jahari. Gets it back to third house. That's poor from third house. For the first time this week I've seen him play a pass like that, and it's let Thailand in. And luckily for third house, his blushes are saved by the work of Jo Chung-eun. There's Ahmed Jahari. Look at the stick word, Ahmed Jahari. Oh, beautiful for Jahari. Can he get it back? Harry Raj Vijayan now. Cross to Jahari. Oh, he's only gone and sneaked it in. That's the goal of the tournament so far. Simply sensational for Ahmed Jahari. And Singapore now lead by 2. Well, that is simply stick wizardry from Singapore's Ahmed Jahari. The replay is not going to do this justice. Wind the replay back, for goodness sake. That tells 1/10 of the story of that goal. After Harry Raj Vijayan just about clawed it back, he got it back to Ahmed Jahari. But for the love of God, please show the full replay of that goal. Ahmed Jahari with a goal of the competition so far makes it Singapore 2, Thailand 0. Oh, I'd pay money to see that goal again in slow motion. Ahmed Jahari, stick wizardry par excellence. He scores his 7th of the competition and gives Singapore now, crucially, a 2-goal buffer in their quest to finish top. Oh, that was a little bit naughty. Accidental, I think that's how the umpires have interpreted it. Now Norman Teo, another man we know that can run at pace. Crossfield from Singapore's Jo Chung-eun. Free hit goes the way of Thailand. I'd love to see that Jahari goal in full. He ran practically half the length of the field with the ball, sometimes one-handed, beat 3 Thai players. Credit as well to Hariraj Vijayan, who initially looked like he'd lost control of the ball that Jahari played into him, but he got it back and got it across to Ahmed Jahari, and that was just pure instinct and pure skill to tuck it in like he did at the narrow angle on the keeper's near post. Sensational hockey. Oh, that's high, wide, almost gathered in by Singatong, I think it was. It comes back to Singapore's Mark Cheong, gets it back to third house. Well, Singapore beat Thailand by scoring a goal in each quarter in the round robin to win 4-1. Sumachar with the consolation in the third. And they're on target to do the same here. They had a goal in the first, a goal in the second, but well, that was lovely play. Fooling Norman Teo there was the skills of Apiwat Tampin. Gesturing over to the bench, she wants a rest, I think, Ahmed Jahari, after the exertions of that stunning goal, so he'll be interchanged off. Well won by Norman Teo. Norman Teo now on the charge. No option there, Tanapin, but to try and win the free hit. He goes very high and very wide, and it comes down off the stick of Norman Teo, who can't take control, but Singapore still get the side in. Norman Teo waits upfield as Ferdhouse gets it to Jo Chung-eung. Thailand at the moment just unable to get anything going offensively to cause Singapore any problems. Better from Thailand here. They've created some space for Vinmutton to try and exploit. Unable to get it going again. Brought away quite neatly by Norshah Silas. Well, how do you top that goal from Ahmed Jahari? Here's a chance for Singapore, all just slipping at the worst possible moment was Vijayan. Here's a chance for Singapore again. It's good work from down the left there. He's just feeding the pace a little bit. Hariraj Vijayan has to run up and down. Well, here's a chance for Thailand to get it going, but it breaks down once more, and now Ferdhouse shows his strength and guile. Ferdhouse, how has he come away with the ball there? Look at this from Ferdhouse. Eventually getting crowded out of it by Thailand, but he took it all the way up to the halfway line from the edge of his own D. Oh my word! That was a potentially nasty incident with the flashing stick from Tanakic and Takayan. High and straight into the pathway of Singapore's Zulkarnain. Getting quite feisty out there. It's, oh my word, there was a flailing arm there as well. Bodies all over the place now. Just in danger of catching fire this game, and not for the right reasons. The challenges are being ever so aggressive. Nice to see neither player, it's not just one way either, both of them are getting a little bit feisty. Nice to see them keeping that aggression for the moment in check, but it's certainly fast and furious out there, make no mistake, in this first and second match play-off in the men's section between Singapore and Thailand. Well read by Ibrahim. It'll be a 23 start for Thailand. Can they force some pressure to get a penalty corner or even a goal before half-time to give us a real grandstand finish in the second half? That sensational Ahmed Jahari goal, crucially giving Singapore the buffer of a 2-goal lead with just over 4 to play in the first half. Ticks getting tangled there. Norman Teo wins the free hit at the expense of Norman Masila. Long for Singapore is Mark Cheong. Far too long. But some more seconds tick away as we rapidly approach half-time here. Singapore leading by 2-0. A Ferdhouse penalty stroke in the first. Quarter. And then a brilliant Ahmed Jahari individual effort in the second with the assist. Let's not forget Harry Rajvijayan's part in that goal. Small as it may have been, it was crucial. Ahmed Jahari, having been interchanged off to catch his breath, is back on. You can see both sets of players are up for this. That was a wild flying tackle from Norman Teo that did enough to put Thailand off. It goes out for a side into Singapore. They go long and aerial. Picked up. The advantage is being played. Satapon tucking 2. Tries to come away with it. For Thailand, who get it to the edge of the D. Too much on that to be picked up by Borarak Harapan. Matanan, it's well won. Oh, good hustle, great work defensively by Mohamed Asali. And Singapore now bringing Silas, and they're at it again. Here comes Singapore on the charge. Thailand scrambling back to cover. Too much on that though, and the chance goes a begging. So we're counting down to the final 60 seconds. Singapore led Thailand 2-0 at half-time in the round-robin phase. They're going to lead them by the looks of things 2-0 again here. Thailand, while they've been competitive, they just haven't shown enough in the final third to suggest they can score the minimum of 2 goals needed to cause Singapore trouble now, and Singapore always look likely coming forward. And with this man on the ball now, Ahmed Jahari, they have one of the players of the tournament. That last goal was simply sensational. I'm hoping, and I'm told we'll get a chance to look at it again if you're just joining us before we take a break for half-time. Oh, it's come out. Could this be number 3? The chance goes a-begging. Just wouldn't sit on the stick right for Mohamed Kahar. And that could be that for the D goalmouth action in this first half here at Sengkang. It's the final of the men's competition at this Hockey Series Open International event. The top 2 meeting to take the first prize in Singapore, courtesy of a third house stroke, controversially awarded in the first quarter after a penalty corner had sent the goalkeeper into no man's land, and the subsequent shot from third house was blocked. That gave them a 1-0 lead at the end of the first quarter, and then the goal I hope we're about to see from Ahmed Jahari midway through the second has given Singapore a 2-goal buffer. One of the best goals you will ever see Ahmed Jahari strike. It back to Jahari, and look how delicate that finish was. The best goal I've seen all week, a sensational strike on the grandstand occasion of the final, and Singapore lead at half-time by 2-0. Jonathan, plenty of time for the second half to see if Singapore can see this out or if the Thais can take a comeback. hold. Welcome back live to Sengkang. We're just underway in the second half as Singapore have a 2-0 lead over Thailand in this first-second playoff match in the men's tournament. I can tell you, in progress on pitch 2 at the moment is the 6th place playoff game between Hong Kong, China and Indonesia, I should say, and Hong Kong, China 10-0 up in that one currently, so Hong Kong, China booked for 5th spot. Indonesia will no doubt finish 6th, but here is probably another goal from Singapore away for making sure they're guaranteed to win the competition. Thailand have been competitive. They've never let their heads drop, even after that controversial start with a third-hour stroke that gave Singapore the lead. But there was nothing anyone could do about the individual brilliance of Ahmed Jahari, who scored the second goal to give Singapore that safety net of an extra goal advantage. And a reminder, immediately following this match, we'll be broadcasting live the presentation for both the men's and women's event at this wildly successful 2018 Singapore International Hockey Series Open. Can Thailand find a response? It was the third quarter in the round-robin game in which they got the goal against Singapore, and they're coming forward with promise here at the start of the third. Still the danger not cleared from a Singapore point of view. Into the D it comes. Oh, the keeper's got something on now. I think he could have afforded to let it go. And then to slip, that's won the penalty corner. No, has he changed his mind? And there's going to be a card, I think, for dissent. Well, they've won the penalty corner, but there's a card for dissent off the back of it. I think he slipped. Did he slip on his own accord? He slipped of his own accord there. I don't think there was a need for a penalty corner, and I believe the green card actually went to the Thai player. Was that Thanakrut Boonart? But if it's Thanakrut Boonart that's got the green card, that leaves them an option short from this short corner. We'll get confirmation. I still think that Nisman Masila fell down of his own accord. Well, Wiros Yasiri is over to push this in. We'll soon know whether it was Boonart that got carded. That's confirmed. Boonart's off, so who's going to go with it this time? They try the intricate inside play and they'll win another penalty corner, despite the best efforts of Mark Cheong to take that away for Singapore. So foolish from Boonart, really. He was about to get the opportunity to score his 8th goal of the competition. He still remains the competition's leading goal scorer. Ferdhouse is on 5. The goal from Jahari takes him to 7, so Jahari's actually now level with Boonart. They go conventionally this time. The shot comes in, it's saved. What a top save that is from the shot from Tanop Kampentong. He's not had much to do the whole tournament, Wee-Wai, but what he's had to do, he's done well. Going back through the previous results in this competition, the only goal that Singapore conceded in the game against Thailand was one that snuck between his legs from Sumachai. He wasn't prepared to be beaten from that penalty corner. Here's the man of the moment, Ahmed Jahari, goes very long. Almost finds Dinesh Raj. Thailand happy to thwack that out to the side. Ibrahim, down the line he goes, he finds a Thai foot there. Clever play from Ibrahim, he'll get Singapore the free. Played short. Teo tries to get it forward, and they've got a break there. The keeper's going to have to come, and the keeper's made a mess of it, and Singapore all over them. It's Jahari for another! My, oh my, oh my! Ahmed Jahari's now the competition's leading goal scorer, and he pounces on the mistake from Suripong Jongjin, and another stylish finish surely confirms Singapore will be winning this game and winning the competition. It was a probing ball into the middle. The keeper came and he had to get a stronger contact. Silas put him under pressure. Ahmed Jahari, one touch, bang. 2 for Jahari, 3 for Singapore, and Thailand are in a world of trouble now. Well, Ahmed Jahari, all the focus had been on Ferdhouse and Norman Teo to a certain extent going into this game, but Jahari stealing the headlines here today. Here he is again, Jahari. Does he fancy a hat-trick in the final? You wouldn't bet against it. He's still got the best part of 27 minutes to do that. What an inspirational performance from Ahmed Jahari. Just 20 years of age, and when you look at the Singapore squad, packed for the teenagers and youngsters like Jahari, it really does bode well for the future of hockey in Singapore. The squad rejigged since the bronze medal winning effort in the SEA Games, where they beat Thailand in the bronze medal match. Here come Thailand though, can they get one back? Great opportunity for Wiros Yosiri. And what's the decision here? Is it a penalty corner? It is. I don't think Thirdaus is too enamoured with that decision. It was good play from Kampatong. And a judge to have obstructed, I'm assuming there, is Mark Cheong. I don't think he did too much wrong, to be honest. Penalty corner nonetheless goes the way of Thailand, who've had 2 so far. Can they make it third time lucky and give themselves a ray of hope? Remember, it was a penalty corner in the third quarter that scored for them in the round-robin game against Singapore. Boonart is back on, so there's no question, having missed the last 2 penalty corners because of dissent, Boonart, I'm sure, will be the man to hit this. Yosiri to deliver. Comes to Boonart! Off the post, can you believe it? Thanakrit Boonart, so close to his 8th goal of the competition. And that certainly would have made things interesting. Just off the outside of the post and to safety for Singapore. Oh, that's wild. Wild from Thanakrit Juntukian. And unfortunately, it's collided with Silas, and that's at close quarters. That's reckless play. I think it's the hand it's hit him on, not the face, which is very fortunate, but that's going to feel his wrist. He may well end up with a card here, Willie. I mean, when you hit a player that close, reckless stuff from Thanakrit Juntukian. Silas is in some pain here. Surprised if he could carry on after that. It's his right wrist, I believe, that's the issue. Must be hurting terribly. He's no more than 5 yards away. Straight into his wrist, and I think luckily it wasn't the hand that was on the stick. If it was a hand that was on the stick, it might have been even worse. Off he goes to receive treatment. The free hit, of course, goes the way of Singapore. Jo Chung-eun. Oh, he's in real pain, poor old Silas. At 25, one of the more experienced members of this squad. A squad with 6 teenagers. The oldest man in it is Adli Ibrahim at 29. And now, again, the team manager of Thailand is not covering himself in glory here. Pichau Kamachan again is protesting, arguably a little bit too vehemently. Thirdaus, the captain of Singapore, and the Thai skipper Sadakon Vimatanan just being urged to calm things down. And why on earth they don't just expel this Thai team manager, I don't know. Behaviour like that is unacceptable. Even if you think you've been hard done by, there are proper channels to go through. And it's not good for the image of the hockey here, and not good for the image of Thailand. Time will go back on. Aerial route to Singapore. I think he's just kept that in initially, he kept it in. I think it's gone out now. Brave attempt from Norman Teo. Nice skills, nice touch from Rathawit Kamkong, and now another stick goes flying. Goodness gracious me. It's gone too high. Free hit to Thailand. Gathered in well by Singapore, but the whistle had gone. And still the poor old technical officer from Japan, Michio Imajo, having to try and calm them down. There's been a card shown to Singapore in the middle of all that. So Singapore are going to be short-handed. It's getting tetchy. I thought there'd been a card shown to Singapore. Maybe that was... Yes, no, there is a Singapore card in the mix there. Mohamed Kahar, green carded, so Singapore short-handed momentarily. Big chase on here. Dinesh Raj is through if they can find him. They get it through to Dinesh Raj. Oh, just too much on it. Out for a side in Thailand. Ibrahim doesn't quite connect with that. A chance for Thailand to break with Masila. Masila dispossessed by Mark Cheong, who goes aerial, goes long, and it misses out 1 and 2. Missed by the Thai captain, but unfortunately Basir couldn't get on the end of it either. Just past the halfway mark in this third quarter. Singapore, as they did in the round-robin game, have added a goal every quarter to lead 3-0. And the goal that Thailand did get in that round-robin game came in the third quarter. They've had a couple of penalty corners. They've gone as close as they have with Boonart hitting the post. But time is beginning to run out for them here. If they want to get the 3 goals back, they need to make this interesting. Another slip. He slipped a couple of times today as Nizman Masila. Credit to Singapore's coach, Rajan Krishnan, and everyone at Singapore Hockey. I know the Singapore Hockey Federation president, Mathaman Devadas, has been a passionate supporter of the youth coming through and also played a huge part in getting this tournament to Singapore. And while the women came away with that great result yesterday against Kazakhstan, winning the shootout to finish third, they'll probably be disappointed, the women by and large. I know they've suffered some key losses in their squad. But the Singapore men are a different story. They've bossed this competition in a similar way to the way the Malaysian women have bossed their section of the championship. And Singapore are 21 minutes away from a big, big win as the road to qualification for Tokyo 2020 starts. Found a Singapore foot there, I thought. They got away with it. Good hustling back from Wirosh Yasiri for Thailand. Third house about to re-enter the fray by the looks of things. With a slip from Sean O. He gets his chance to impress now off the interchange bench. Oh, well won by Thailand. Buridak Harapan goes long. They just about managed to keep it in play, Thailand. They go down the right-hand side again. But they find a Singapore stick. And that was intelligent defending by Singapore on that occasion. Thailand come again. They're enjoying better possession in this third quarter. Lifted into the D. Can they bring it down and get the shot away? Oh, it's going to dribble in, I think. Whistle had already gone. And it will be a penalty stroke, I think. What's the ruling here? Penalty stroke has been awarded. Quite see what the offence was. In fairness, I think they'd have scored anyway, Thailand. So if they missed the stroke, they'll be even more aggrieved. Good save initially from Wee, but Boonart gets Thailand on the score sheet. They're back in this at 3-1. Boonart with his 8th of the competition, now level with Ahmed Jahari in terms of the scoring charts. And more importantly, he's given Thailand hope here. And it's a case of deja vu to the game in the round robin stage, where again in the third quarter it was 3-1. And Thailand get rewards for their perseverance and attacking play in the third quarter. Still not sure about that penalty stroke, what the actual ruling was. I'm sure we'll get word later on. Not an easy job our two umpires have in this environment with all the intimidation as Ibrahim comes in. Good defensive work from Thailand, and they're away again. Can they find Boonart again? Almost did. That was an important intervention from Ferdhouse. How crucial could that be in the context of the competition? Down the right-hand side, trying to turn defence into attack, but unable to keep it in through Sean O. Yes, give those umpires another mention. Ravdeep Sethi of Hong Kong and Pavalagan Paskaran of Malaysia. Been a feisty encounter this. These big games always are. Not easy to umpire. And we've now seen 2 penalty strokes awarded. Ahmed Jahari is brought down there a little bit cynically as well. Gets straight back up and plays on. He's on a hat-trick, remember. Now level on 8 goals each. Boonart and Jahari for the tournament. So there's another mini battle potentially playing itself out there. Ferdhouse goes through the middle. Tries to find Ibrahim, but Thailand come away with it, and they're committing numbers forward now, Thailand. Searching for the second goal, and it could come now. Oh, wide of the mark. What a chance for Nolowitchitani off the bench to make a real name for himself. And that certainly would have spiced up the final 18 minutes. It's a great ball through the middle. I think it was from Boonart. Came through to Itani, just wide. Well, Thailand have got a spring in their step after that goal, and it's them that are now showing the greater attacking intent. Singapore need to regroup. They might need another goal just to create a safety net as that comes off Ferdhouse's feet. That'll be a free hit to Thailand just outside the shooting circle. Driving it to the byline is Supawong. Free hit on the edge. They'll take it back out, get it across the face. It's met well by Ferdhouse. Ferdhouse happy just to get that out. I think Singapore would like to hear the third quarter time to go in a minute. They're under the pump at the moment. Thailand continuing to come forward. That'll go down as dangerous play from Sing Tong. Oh, the free hit's gone to Thailand now. And it's almost like the first time every decision was going Singapore's way, every decision in the second way seems to be going Thailand's way. They say it levels itself out. That was another wild lash from Pakantod into the D and across the face, too much on it. And Kampentong has to go back, but Thailand have got some energy now. Deflected off that stick, it will go out for a side in. That won't be actually be a 23 restart. I thought there was a side in there. They've got the wrong ball on the pitch, I think. Yes, they have to go all the way back there. It was Singapore ball. 16-metre restart, Singapore. Inside the final minute then of this third quarter that's given us plenty of drama and 2 goals as well. Another cracker from Ahmed Jahari to add to his sensational effort in the second quarter. And a stroke from Boonart. Oh, my word. Flying stick came in there from Kangkong. Singapore, it's across the D. And, oh, what a save! What a save from Mohamed Basir. A sensational save from Jongjum to keep Thailand alive. Save of the game so far from Suripong Jongjum. Inside the final minute we go. Singapore now probing for their 4th. Basir. Samran. Still enough time on the clock. Now what's happening here? Is Norman Teo going to get a card? Well, let's have a look at this again. This save from Jongjim. It came out to Basir. And Basir's effort at really close range. We'll have to leave that for a minute. Take it from me, it was a great save from Jongjim. And Norman Teo confirmed is in the bin here. So more problems for Singapore. They just want to get this third quarter over and done with now. Far be it for me to cast aspersions, but you get the impression, there was me criticising the Thai team manager, Pavalagan Paskaran, but his tantrums appear to have influenced the umpires. Everything going Thailand's way in terms of the officiating in the second half. It's a cracking encounter, and it ain't over yet, folks. Singapore lead 3-1. Another goal from Johari early in the third quarter, but Thailand finally off the mark after a stroke awarded to Thailand, converted by Boonart for its 8th of the competition. At three-quarter time here in the race to finish first, it's Singapore 3, Thailand 1. Stay with us. Welcome back to the heavy rain at Sengkang at Singapore's National Hockey Centre, host for the last 9 days of the Hockey Series Open. Earlier on today, Malaysia took away the women's crown, beating Thailand 6-2 in the final. We are now 50 minutes away from declaring our men's champions. Singapore leading Thailand 3-1 in a really fiery and fascinating encounter. With just 15 minutes left on the clock, can the Thais possibly turn it round, led by their talisman, Thanakrit Boonart, who's already got a penalty stroke to his name and a green card as well, by the way. But interestingly, Norman Teo's card right at the end of the third period was a yellow. So Singapore will be short-handed for the first 4.5 minutes of this final quarter. It's been hotly contested. Thailand walking off the pitch in protest at the awarding of a penalty stroke to Singapore in the first quarter. Scored by Ferdhouse, then Ahmed Johari with a goal of the tournament as far as I'm concerned in the second quarter to make it 2-0. Singapore made it 3 through another Ahmed Johari field goal just after half-time, and then that Boonart goal that's given us an interesting tinge to this final 15. Thailand in the white shirts, black shorts, playing from right to left. Singapore all red, left to right. And here's the man of the moment, Ferdhouse, who's marshalled Singapore brilliantly. Play down the line by Shauno, but he finally runs out of luck. 5 cards shown in this game all told, 2 green apiece to Thailand and Singapore, that 1 yellow now. Hold on, it's going to be a penalty corner here right at the start of the fourth quarter as Singapore in for nervy times. Ferdhouse protesting, as is Jo Chung-eung. Who'd be an umpire, eh? All the grief they get. Now, they're playing without a goalkeeper now, Thailand. This is extraordinary. Extraordinary scenes here. Thailand now playing without a keeper. They're going for broke here. On in the designated jersey for Thailand is the goalkeeper, who's now going to try and convert this. I can only assume it's Boonart. Of course, there's no number on him now. It's going to be played in, as always, by Wirish Yasiri. It's Boonart who's playing rush keeper. Boonart to make it a one-goal game. Keeper saves just. Still not cleared. Keeper saves again. And what's the decision? The decision is another penalty corner. Well, we are in for 40 minutes of frantic fun and games now, folks. Thailand playing without a keeper. Singapore seemingly struggling to get over the line after looking so in control for large parts of this game. And that has to go down as an opportunity missed for Wiros Yasiri. Thailand score this penalty corner, and this is game very much back on here. Singapore are cruising at 3-0 up with 20 minutes to play, but now it's 3-1 and a golden opportunity for Thailand. Oh, just off the post again, I think, from Boonart. They've now abandoned the no goalkeeper idea, so the goalkeeper's back on by the looks of things. Play to Boonart. No, it hit the stanchion behind the goal, not the post, but he's hit practically every part of the goal tonight so far, Boonart. The post, the stanchion, and of course the back of the net with that stroke he scored. So fascinating that Thailand went no keeper there, albeit briefly. Third house. Gambles that Thailand are going to start taking to get back into this game, but they're still playing without a keeper, as you can see. I thought that might have been an issue with the jerseys, but the keeper was pulled, so Thailand now going for broke here, trailing by 2 and without a goalkeeper. Now, I thought momentarily they hadn't pulled the keeper. Maybe it was just one of them had needed a new jersey and there wasn't a replacement jersey, but that's not the case. Thailand without a keeper. Can Singapore get it up the other end? Can that man complete his hat-trick? Ahmed Jahari, the star of the show in this game, and it's been a competitive race to be the star of the show. Boonart, as always, leading from the front for Thailand. Some great goalkeeping by Jungjum. And some stellar work from Norman Teo and third house, as always. Going long through Juntakian. There's no Thai player out there, though. That will suit Singapore. Thailand with the side in. Some space to work with here for Boonart. Boonart looking for the foot and finding the foot of Jeremiah Balakrishnan. Boonart again, he's almost trying to do too much, you feel sometimes, Boonart. He's passed it straight to Jahari, and Jahari happy just to set it out for a side in. Singapore not showing much attacking intent, bearing in mind the Thai goal is empty. They might do now, though. Chasing this down is Dinesh Raj. Kam Kong. Well, I wonder whether Singapore surviving the first 5 minutes of this fourth quarter will be enough. You get the impression if Thailand had scored from that penalty corner just now, anything could have happened, but Singapore now just slowing the game right down and playing it at their pace. It's a brave decision to pull the keeper, though, because one more goal from Singapore and it really will be over. Singapore, though, struggling to maintain possession for the first time this week. It's off the leg of a Thai player. Be a hit to Singapore that Furnas won't be in any rush to take. Birdhouse goes the aerial route. Can they take advantage of an empty goal for Thailand? Oh, that's off the foot of Mohamed Asali. They wanted the hit for Singapore before that, the crowd. Look at the ground Boonart is covering in a frantic attempt to get Thailand back into this. Of course, I wonder what difference it will make when Norman Teo is back in the fray. Norman Teo showing that yellow card right on the stroke of the end of the third quarter. You can see it's Samachai, who is the designated keeper without pads. Oh, they've picked it off, and it's going to be Norman Teo surely to seal it. Norman Teo! The gamble backfires for Thailand, and Norman Teo, one of the stars of the show for Singapore all week, takes full advantage. He comes up with a steal, and there is still a lot of work to do. Subashai took a chance. Norman Teo lashed onto it. One touch, two touch. Tomahawk. Singapore's championship at 4-1. There's no way back for Thailand now, surely. And just moments after returning to the fray after his yellow card, Norman Teo has sealed the win for Singapore. Well, with so much time still on the clock, it looked a debatable decision by Thailand to pull their goalkeeper, but pull their goalkeeper they did. And now there's a delay while they put the goalkeeper back in position. Although, frankly, if you're going to pull the goalkeeper at 3-1 down, what's the point of putting him back in at 4-1 down? Well, bizarre from Thailand, the tactics there. I suppose they'd look like a genius if they'd have scored from that penalty corner. But that's the ball game now. Singapore aren't going to throw away a 4-1 lead here. And just as they did in the round-robin game, they've scored a goal in every quarter against the Thais. A lot of credit must go to the coach, Rajan Krishnan. Really impressed with what I've seen from Singapore at this hockey series open here at Sengkang over the last 9 days. The Malaysians have bossed the women's division to even a greater extent, but in terms of it being a very new squad for Singapore, full of youth, a rejig after the bronze medal at the SEA Games, and you look at the ages, the keeper 21, Mark Chong 18, Mohamed Zulkarnain 16, Hariraj Vijayan 18, Mohamed Kahar 18, Sean O 17, and Mohamed Bassar at 19. And these aren't just players that are here for the experience, they've all played a contribution, and ably supported by that man, the oldest man in the squad, Adil Ibrahim at 29, with the 25-year-old Ferdow skippering the side quite brilliantly, and Norman Teo, a real threat. So much pace in this Singapore side, and they're so exciting to watch. There's still the small matter of Ahmed Jahari's hat-trick as well. I wonder if that's on his mind. I'm sure he won't care a jot. I'm sure neither will Bunar, but they're both tied on 8 goals each in terms of the leading goal scorer honours. Singapore hunting a 5th. Here's Balakrishnan. Norman Teo. Norman Teo coming up there with his 3rd goal of the competition, and there is the 5th, is it? No! Somehow they keep it out, and Jahari was there for the hat-trick, but great keeping work from Jongjum to prevent a certain Singapore 5th there. Jahari had it at his mercy. Halfway through this 4th and final quarter of what's been a fascinating and enjoyable 9 days of hockey here in Singapore. Singapore are about to be crowned the champions of the men's section, and they're looking to do it by the looks of things in some style. This man, Ahmed Jahari, did he find a foot? No, he didn't. Hong Kong have beaten Indonesia by 13 goals to 0 to confirm 5th place in the men's group. They're coming again. Jahari wants this. He doesn't get it though. The keeper's come. Surely he could have let that go, the keeper, I think. Oh, the stick's got her flying. It's all happening here. We're Shasiri in no man's land. And the time is out now. Norman Teo getting involved with Jongjum. Now, Norman Teo got it across. Jahari, that was the shot that Jongjum saved. And then I think the incident that Norman Teo is in dispute with Jongjum about was the chance that just came with the stick flying. Free hit to Singapore, taken by Mohamed Asali. Asali back to Ferdows. Who else? Every time the ball goes back, it goes to Ferdows. Through the middle. Oh, the deflection! What a save from Dinesh Raj by Jongjum. Dinesh Raj's delicate touch, and Jongjum reacted brilliantly. There's more goals in this game, you feel. Oh, look at that from Ferdows. Skills. Kahar trying to Put pressure on and Kahar wins possession. Vijayan comes away with it. Vijayan into the middle. Misses out Johari. Didisraj still has it. Didisraj onto his right side. Just wide. Well, this has been an entertaining encounter. At the moment, it's finishing exactly the same way as the game in the round-robin stage did, but this has been a more entertaining clash. We've had Ahmed Johari's wonder goal. We've had Thailand really battling, putting the keeper with a full quarter to go, trailing 3-1. When that backfired, they put back in Jongja, but the damage had already been done. Singapore's title now. Didisraj just unable to finish. He got it back onto his right side, created the space. Is that an optical illusion? It looked to me like that went in the goal. It's an optical illusion, it must be. I'd like to see that replay again. Could we see that one more time? That was bizarre. It was like an optical illusion. I was convinced I wanted it in slow motion. Still think Didisraj scored there. Touch from Kam Kong. Now Thailand into the D again. Oh, look at that defensive hustle. Brilliant defensive hustle from Kahar. Get the free hit, Thailand. Trying to find Boonhart. Chance for Boonhart. Going to be a penalty corner. Well, Boonhart has been the standout for Thailand this week. He goes close once more. Here's me crowning Singapore champions. Thailand about to get another one back. Look at Ferdhouse. He's feeding it. A hard-on competition. There's 6 games of hockey in 9 days at this level. Takes that out of anyone. Look at the perspiration on a very humid night in Sengkang, coming off the Thai players in those white jerseys. They've got to raise themselves for one more big defensive effort of a penalty corner. It will be Sumachai to deliver this. I think you could bet the mortgage it'll be Boonhart to hit it. Boonhart over the bar. Not far away at all, and that could be that now. Get possession back with Harapan. That's outside the D, looking for the deflection, but it's high, dangerous, and Singapore get the hit, and the seconds continue to tick by. Singapore go long with Ferdhouse, taking a deflection, gathered up by Harapan. Now on the drive is Kam Kong. Ibrahim intercepts. Ibrahim gets on with it quickly. The break could be on here now. Where's Ahmed Johari? The hat-trick seeking Johari. I think he might even be interchanged off at the moment. There was too much on that, and now I think Singapore, rightly so, not worried about records and leading scorers and hat-tricks. They just want to see this game out professionally and know they can call themselves the winners of the Hockey Series Open Singapore 2018. Having said that, Ahmed Johari's away again. Here comes Johari. What's the decision here? It's going to be a 23-metre Singapore possession, I think, inside the final 3 minutes. Ahmed Johari, scorer, the best goal I've seen this week, and we've seen some crackers. But in the context of scoring it in the final, from inside your own half to beat 4 players like that and then finish after the great link-up with Vijayan was brilliant. That's deflected in. And that'll be a 60-metre restart for Thailand. Here's Johari. Oh, little think behind, not on the same page as him on that occasion was Joe Chim Ung. All these players are tired. It's the wet weather, by the way. It's raining very heavily. If you're wondering why these sticks keep flying, it's the wet weather that's not helping the players, in fairness. Meanwhile, Ahmed Jahari, can he get on the end of this? Yes, he can. Ahmed Jahari, can he get the shot away? Not yet. Can he find a teammate? No, he can't. And Thailand will just hack this away. And picked up in defence and given to Ferdhouse, who's now on the charge. Ferdhouse taking a tumble in the slippery conditions. The Thai defender, Ferdhouse, finds the foot of Masila. How's that not a free hit, by the way? And I think now both teams know the outcome. They know the result. It's going to be identical if it stays like this to the score in the round robin. Boonart, though, will never stop fighting for Thailand. What a warrior he is. The Thai 26, Thanakrit Boonart. Ferdhouse, though, can now enjoy the final 60 seconds. Some of the Thais and now on their haunches, they've got nothing left to give. Is there another goal in this for Thailand? That'll be a free from the side. Mohamed Asali concedes the free, but the seconds are ticking away. Do stay with us after a short couple of minutes while they set things up. We'll bring you the presentation ceremony live for both the men's and women's events in this Hockey Series Open 2018. The women's won by Malaysia, and the men's about to be won by Singapore. Ahmed Jahari, there's still time for him to get the hat-trick if he can. Jahari, that went out of play. That went out of play. Singapore will still get possession, but they're not going to have time to take this free hit, I don't think. The time is about to expire. Singapore have won the Hockey Series Open 2018. They've beaten Thailand by 4-0. A penalty stroke from Ferdhouse set them on their way in the first quarter, and then a sensational Ahmed Jahari double made it 3-0. The first of which, if you get a chance later, make sure you see it. It was on the 17th minute mark. What a sensational individual goal, dribbling it from his own half of the field. Thailand got back into it with a penalty stroke from Thanakrit Boonart to take him for 8 for the competition late in the third quarter. But the seal on the win, scored by Norman Teo after Thailand had pulled their keeper in a search to try and save the game. And that was that as far as Thailand's challenge went. Singapore, with a new squad, a young squad, a youthful squad, are on the way up. It's a massive improvement from what we saw in the SEA Games, and full credit must go to Rajan Krishnan, their coach. He's done a wonderful job with a very talented group of youngsters. Thailand played their part and could go home proud, but the winners of the Hockey Series Open Men, Singapore 2018, are the host, Singapore. Stay with us then here at Sengkang. We'll bring you the presentation ceremony. I'm afraid to say the Thai manager is disgracing himself yet again. Disgusting behaviour from some of those Thai officials. They should be ashamed of themselves. And she has my utmost respect, Michio Imajo, the Japanese official who's had to deal with that nonsense all through the game. And why some of the Thais are laughing about it, I find absolutely disgusting. So that's marred, unfortunately, what's been a great week for Thai hockey. Congratulations to Singapore as well, and please do stay with us for the presentation ceremony. Okay, so welcome back live to Sengkang. You can see the presentation platform has been erected. We're almost good to go for the prize presentation for this, the 2018 International Hockey Series Open at Sengkang in Singapore. 9 days of fantastic competition, 12 international teams, 6 in the men's, 6 in the women's, and they've all acquitted themselves brilliantly. Even the Indonesians, who are for large parts of the tournament outmatched, will go home with their heads held high and no doubt come on for this as an emerging nation in international hockey terms. And at the other end of the spectrum, the Malaysian women were absolutely superior. Sensational stuff from them, as I'm sure they will start now a serious jolt at qualification for Tokyo 2020. And what about Singapore? Their first real test post-SEA Games, a youthful squad with 6 teenagers, youngsters like Ferdaus and Johari in the mix as well, and they also have announced themselves onto the international stage in some style here, as we've just seen, beating Thailand 4-1 for the second time in the competition to take away first placing. Very shortly we'll have the awards for best goalkeeper, best player in both the men's and women's section, and then we'll award the first, second and third placings in the 2 competitions. The Thai men, who play hard and they play fair, might argue they were on the wrong end of some unfortunate decisions, but it certainly in my eyes levelled itself out across the game. And while they'll be disappointed, they too can take heart that hockey in Thailand is strong, with both the men and women of Thailand finishing second in their respective competitions. The women behind Malaysia and the men, as we've just seen, behind Singapore. And in Bunart, they have a true goal-scoring sensation. 8 goals for the competition. The joint top goal scorer with Ahmed Johari. So the Rays not put a dampener on things in Sengkang this evening as night-time draws in well and truly in Singapore, just past 7:30 in the evening local time. And now we just await the beginning of the presentation ceremony. Our presentation party will include Mr. Jeevan Tan, the Secretary General of the Singapore Hockey Federation, Mr. Ruchi Kushiko, the Tournament Director of the Hockey Series Open Singapore, as well as Mr. Mathavan Devadas, the President of the Singapore Hockey Federation, who's done such sterling work to bring this competition here, and he has to take a large credit for the improvement in the Singapore men's team with this new youthful initiative. Also, Mr. Shang Chi-jen, the President of the Chinese Taipei Hockey Association. It's great to have him here with us today. He'll be presenting a prize in the men's competition. Mr. Relani Sapari, the Assistant General Secretary of Singapore Hockey, is here, as is our guest of honour, Mr. Muradiran Pillai, the Member of Parliament for Bukit Batok. We've got a man from the FIH Officials Committee to present one of the women's prizes as well. Henrik Eklers is here, and also Dato Siri Siriwat, the Vice President of the Asian Hockey Federation. She'll be presenting in a nice touch the champions in the women's section to Malaysia. So with the victorious men just getting into position, we're hopefully only moments away from our presentation ceremony. Do stay with us here to enjoy that. Just to run you through the placings as they were in the women's competition: Indonesia finishing 6th, Hong Kong in 5th, Kazakhstan in 4th. Singapore took 3rd place off Kazakhstan off the back of that thrilling 4-2 penalty shootout win yesterday after the game had finished 3-all after normal time. And earlier today, Thailand secured 2nd spot, but it was Malaysia who emerged victorious, winning by 6-0. And in the men's section, bottom place in 6th is Indonesia, 5th Hong Kong, 4th Myanmar, 3rd Chinese Taipei, a great win for them against Myanmar yesterday. 2nd place to Thailand, and Singapore are your men's champions. I have got just handed to me now the winners of the best goalkeeper and the best player in both the men's and women's section, but I won't spoil the surprise. I shall wait for them to be awarded on the pitch, which will happen momentarily. But it's been great to see top-class hockey here. I know you've been enjoying it on the FIH's social media channels. The FIH doing a great job. So much great live hockey on the FIH YouTube channel. They're very social media proactive, and it's one of the reasons why this great sport is growing all over the world, as Singapore posed for more champion photographs. We've been privileged to show the Singapore games on the 11 Sports Facebook page as well. I hope you've been enjoying those. And it's been all in all 9 days of tremendous sport in Singapore that will go down as a tremendous success. Even the rain couldn't dampen the spirits of, look at that, the oldest man in the squad, Ibrahim. He's like the oldest swinger in town. As I think in the background there you can see our presentation party making their way on to the Sengkang Pitch 1 surface to begin our presentation ceremonies. Word of congratulations as well to all the organisers and the officials. Takes so many volunteers as well to get a tournament of this scale off the ground. The organisation to get the teams to and from the venues, great security, a great venue, the Sengkang Hockey Complex, built for the Olympics, the Youth Olympics in 2010, and now serves as the home of Singapore hockey. And it's a home now that has champions in it, with Singapore emerging victorious here. I hope you're picking that audio up. It's Mr. Jeevan Tan, the Secretary General of the Singapore Hockey Federation, to present the Best Goalkeeper Awards. Yes, Nurayangan Alisa of Thailand winning the Best Women's Goalkeeper. She certainly got my vote. Love her aggression in goal, and she actually conceded a penalty stroke earlier today that was converted on appeal to a penalty corner, and well deserved. Great bravery from the Thai keeper, and she helped her team secure that spot in the match against Malaysia today by finishing second in the round robin. Congratulations to her. Yes, Wee Wai Xuan, a deserved winner. If I'm going to be picky, did let one penalty corner from Thailand get in between his legs from Sumachai in the round robin, but other than that he pulled off some great saves. It was one of the reasons Singapore was so tight at the back. So Singapore have the official best goalkeeper, and many thanks to Jeevan Tan, Secretary General of the Singapore Hockey Federation, for presenting those. Yes, Rashid Nurani winning the best player of the tournament in the women's section of Malaysia, and it had to be a Malaysian, didn't it? 9 goals for the competition. She finishes the competition's top scorer, and today won her 101st cap for Malaysia. Malaysia simply peerless in the women's section, led brilliantly by that girl there, Rashid Nurani. Well, Ferdhouse takes it. It could have been any one of 4 Singaporeans, but I think by virtue of his leadership skills and the way everything good that Singapore do comes from the back with Ferdhouse, it's quite right that the captain in this new era for Singapore hockey takes away the prize. Congratulations to Noor Ashrik Ferdhouse, the best player in the men's section. Team Singapore, a gutsy win against Kazakhstan yesterday to take the bronze, the 3rd placing in the women's competition. Mr. Mathavan Devadas, the president of the Singapore Hockey Federation, so instrumental in bringing this tournament here, there to make the presentation. like the men's team, a much rejigged side from that contested the SEA Games, and they've had to deal with a number of defections to another sport as well, so it's not all been easy. And unfortunately, unlike the men's team, they haven't really got that out-and-out superstar in the ranks, a goal scorer to turn games their way, but they really came good when it mattered in the big game yesterday against Kazakhstan, confirming their third placing against the odds as well. That was a big win against Kazakhstan, who were fancied to beat Singapore yesterday. So congratulations to the Singapore women, finishing in third, as Mr. Madhavan Devadas presents the medals to them. Team Singapore celebrate their third placing very shortly. Mr. Henrik Elkers, the FIH Officials Committee member, will present the runners-up to Thailand.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be presenting the second place women's team of the Hockey Series Open. And helping us present the medals is Ms. Rilani Safari, Assistant General Secretary of the Singapore Hockey Federation. Please give it up for our silver medalist, Thailand.
Apologies, that's a change to the advertising running on I have. I believe that's Mr. Rilani Sapari, the Assistant General Secretary of the Singapore Hockey Federation. She'll be presenting the runners-up medals to Team Thailand, who went down 6-0 to a very strong Malaysia side earlier today. So Thailand pose for their photographs. A great tournament for them. Team Thailand having beaten Hong Kong 4-0, Singapore 1-0, Indonesia 16-0, Kazakhstan 4-0, and just those two defeats to Malaysia against their name. A great competition and tournament for Thailand. Now, of course, the winners. So Dato Sri Siluat, the Vice President of the Asian Hockey Federation, now to present the big prize to Team Malaysia. So Malaysia take away the two big prizes, really. Well, two of the three. The Thai keeper, Nong Saram, obviously took away the goalkeeping prize, but Urani Rashid takes away the players of the tournament prize. And of course the women absolutely imperious, beating Indonesia 18-0, Hong Kong, China 10-0, Kazakhstan 8-1, Thailand 4-0, Singapore 5-0, and then Thailand 6-0 again. Just one goal conceded. Astonishing. Congratulations to Team Malaysia, the champions of the 2018 Hockey Series Open Singapore. And they are incredibly well drilled, that team of Malaysia. Full credit to their coach as well, Raj Dharma. Does a tremendous job with them. Will progress to the next round of the Hockey Series Open, as our MC has just reminded us. So Mr. Hung Chi-jen, the president of the Chinese Taipei Hockey Association, presents third place to Chinese Taipei, which is a nice touch. Great work from Chinese Taipei to get the job done yesterday in their game against Myanmar, beating them by 6 goals to 2. You all know Myanmar have been a tough nut to crack in this competition. Only beat them 5-4 in that real thriller earlier in the competition. That was one of the games of the tournament, actually, the 5-4 to Chinese Taipei against Myanmar. Now will present the prize, the member of the FIH Officials Committee, and he presents the prize to Thailand, the runners-up in the men's competition. They've had a very good tournament, only beaten by the Singaporeans. 3-1 winners over Chinese Taipei, 6-0 over Indonesia, 4-3 against Myanmar, and another classic game involving the Myanmarese, and then 5-1 winners against Hong Kong, China, just coming up short against Singapore twice, both times by the scoreline of 4 goals to 1. And in their number 26 Boonart, they have a real superstar. 8 goals in the competition for he. as the Thailand men pose for their photographs and proudly hold the flag of Thailand. There's only one prize left to present, and that is the big one, the men's champions. And to present the award to the Singapore men will be Mr. Muradharan Pillai, the Member of Parliament for Bukit Batok SMC. And you listen to the noise when Singapore pick up their prize momentarily. The joint will be jumping at the Sengkang Hockey Stadium. Singapore, listen to this. Ovation those young men fully deserve. A squad packed full of 8 teenagers: Basir, Shauno, Kahar, Vijayan, Zulkarnain, Mark Chong as well, with the experienced hands of Firdaus and Adil Ibrahim. And how can you ignore Norman Teo? Came up with it. 4th goal today to make it game, set, match. And what about Ahmed Jahari? That goal he scored today will live long in the memory. One of the best goals I've ever seen, never mind on the stage of the final of this fantastic tournament, the Hockey Series Open. Congratulations to all the players and teams that have taken part throughout the course of the last 9 days of hockey. It's been a privilege to bring it to you on the FIH media channels and across the 11 sports media platforms. Singapore, worthy winners in the men's category. Malaysia, worthy winners in the women's category. And with the young and youthful look of this Singapore hockey squad, it's certainly exciting times around the corner, you feel, for Singapore hockey as they start out on what will surely be a very tricky task to get to Tokyo 2020. But you just never know, do you? And I'd rather have shares in the Singapore hockey team getting to Tokyo in 2020 than I would have had against them getting to the Rio Olympics in 2016. So we'll leave you with those pictures. Singapore celebrating. They are the champions of the Hockey Series Open in Singapore 2018. From all the team here, we'll say goodbye.